Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we have a new patch coming in from BSG. This is patch 0.12.12.15.3. There's some cool stuff in this patch, and we're going to go over all of the notes that they posted on Twitter. There's some very cool things and a lot of like little optimizations, a lot of little bug fixes, and a lot of quality of life stuff, I suppose. And some new sounds even being added as well for the Scar L. That makes it sound different from the Scar H, which was something I never even thought of. Like, apparently the guns sound very similar. They've added new sounds, so I'm going to check those out on today's stream. Twitch.tv/tweak, by the way, if you haven't followed already. So let's get into the notes. We have started the installation of the patch, blah, 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 blah. The installation will take approximately 4 hours, maybe extended if required. The game will not be accessed during this period. As of now, the patch is in fact live. So let's go over some of the things in the patch. So we've got some optimizations, decreased possible performance drops on the flea market, preset, the handbook, the stash, skills, and task screens. So what this basically means is all of the hiccups and some of the lags, you know, that you get when you're switching between these menus will hopefully now be a little bit smoother and a little bit cleaner to jump through and jump back and forth between your hideout and your flea market and your traders and all this other kind of stuff. So I guess I'll check that out today and we will see just how smooth it is now, because I remember the last time we had one of these patches, it made it way better. So hopefully this one has made it even crispier yet again. And then we've also got various client optimizations, and moving on from that, we're going to get into the juicy stuff. So now, when transferring a container needed to complete a task, a craft, zone construction in the hideout, you can only hand over empty containers. When trying to transfer a non-empty container, you will receive a notification saying you can't hand over a container with items inside. Now, this was a big problem at the start of the patch, specifically with the scab box in the hideout. You know, the thing where you'd send away a moonshine and then your scavs would come back a few hours later with, you know, X items for you. A lot of people had trouble handing in a junk box because people tend to hoard junk boxes. It's pretty common for players to have sometimes two, even up to like, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these damn things, because they hoard all of the items that they find in raid and build them up and then sell them all at once, or actually use them for crafting. Now, it seems you will get an error message if you end up picking the wrong one. So there's no chance you'll be able to select your full one, because some people were actually losing their items by handing in their full scav junk box. So that issue has now been fixed with this little error message you get. If you try to hand over something with items in it, it will say, no, it has items. Bring me back an empty one, and then I will make your thing. Next up, change the conditions under which players, which scav bots took a prone position when engaging with players. So I'm guessing this means they won't just like randomly shoot at you and then stop and then just go prone and then start shooting again and then immediately stand back up again. I don't know. It was kind of weird and it felt very unnatural when scavs were doing it. So now I'm assuming there's going to be, you know, X conditions must be met before a scav will go prone. They won't just randomly doing it, you know, like they're playing Call of Duty 4 from back in the day and they're trying to drop shot you. So that's nice. That's been fixed. Again, I mentioned this earlier. Added new sounds for the Scar L, different from the Scar H. So I guess I'll check that out later on in game and we'll see how they sound. List of fixes. Fixed an issue due to which shotguns were not dealing damage. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I've ever run into a shotgun in Tarkov that has actually not caused me damage. Every time I've been shot by a shotgun, it always causes me a lot of damage. So I don't think I was ever subject to this bug, but apparently there was instances when shotguns were not dealing damage. So that's been fixed now, I guess. They've also fixed an issue causing infinite loading into a raid as a scav. This was actually a big problem for a lot of people, myself included. I used to get this issue fairly commonly where I'd have to alt F4 the game, go back to the main menu, hit disconnect, then wait another minute or 2 minutes before it would knock me out of the raid, so that I could go try and do a scav run on another map or retry it on the same map again. Or I would just go run my PMC because I just couldn't be bothered, just on the off chance I got stuck in an infinite loading screen while I was on my scav. So that's been fixed now, which is very nice. Bots can phrase about other scavs' dead bodies again. So now I guess when a scav is near a dead body, they can choose some voice lines that they're going to randomly say, like, haha, look at this dead dickhead, or whatever they do say. I don't know, but they can phrase now when they see dead bodies. They've also fixed the possibility of rain appearing indoors. So this is a really big fix, which is interesting. I'm assuming that this means when you go into let's say, dorms on customs, sometimes you would get that bug where you would hear the rain while you were indoors and it would sound like you were outside. So I'm assuming this is what they fixed, and they also stopped the rain effect from appearing indoors. So hopefully that's what they did. There's nothing more frustrating than going into an inside building to get away from the sound of the rain, only to still have it follow you into the building, and then you have to go hide in a room, disconnect, reconnect, and then the issue would fix itself. So what I want to see is if they can now stop the fog from appearing indoors on interchange. So I'm curious about that. I play some interchange today just to see if that actually is the case, depending on what the weather's like today. They also added missing sounds in third person for characters falling from a height and or ledge. This is huge. What this means is now when PMCs fall, let's say on Shoreline, they drop through one of the holes in the floor on East Wing or West Wing, you can actually now hear them fall, so you can tell where they are. This is like one of the most insane sound cues in the game. If you've ever been fighting somebody who's in like East 226 and then you're like, where did they go? You didn't hear them jump. You didn't hear them fall. You'll now be able to hear people fall off the balconies, so you know where they have gone, and you will actually have that info now. So this is a massive change, because this was bugged for, I swear to God, like a year. This was a problem, and it's finally been fixed. So I'm very, very excited about this. This is probably the most significant change in this patch, in my opinion, as far as like gameplay is concerned. So that's a big one. We've also got scavs no longer slide in place when changing positions. So this happens a lot on interchange. There'll just be a scav just constantly like power sliding in the same spot, and you're going to be sitting there going, what is that? And it's, you know, is it killer? Nope, it's just a scav who's like stuck in a corner and he's trying to reposition, but for whatever reason, he just keeps sliding in place and making loads of noise. So that has now been fixed. Bots no longer walk through the train on the lighthouse location. I've spent very little time actually in the train station, so I've never seen this happen, but that was obviously a collision bug with the train, so that has now been fixed. Bots can now equip found weapons on their back instead of putting them in the backpack. So this one I don't really understand. So apparently scavs would go around, they'd pick up guns, but they would put them in their backpack, because I've never seen this. I've seen it where scavs have guns in like their secondary slots that they've picked up off a player, but I've never actually seen a scav put a gun in their backpack. But I don't know if you guys have ever seen that bug. Let me know if you ever looted a random scav bag and find like a nice M4 in it or something. Yeah, I've never seen this, so I was kind of surprised when I read this earlier. Also, they have made it so that keys listed on the flea market will now display durability again. Not that this really matters, because if a key is found in raid, there's only ever a chance of it being used once before it leaves the raid and then listed on the flea market. So either a marked room key is going to be 25 uses, or it's going to be 24 out of 25 uses, because I don't think there's any other scenario where a key can be used more than one time in a single raid when you find it found in raid. I guess you can see that now, which is cool. Spamming the caps lock while moving no longer lets you move silently without a significant slowdown. So this was a bug, apparently. This might explain how some people got up behind me without making any noise. I didn't even know this was a bug. So there you go. That's been fixed, so that's good. Player uphill movement now looks smooth again in the third person. So what they mean by third person is if you're looking at your teammate running up a hill, their animation of moving up the hill will now look smoother instead of, I guess it was kind of janky before, but honestly, I never really noticed in the first place. They also fixed the ability to become invisible while using an AGS grenade launcher as a scav. Again, this is something I had absolutely no idea that you could do. Apparently, you could become invisible while using the AGS. Yeah, I guess that's fixed now, but I had no idea this was a problem. They have also now fixed the ability to look through the bunker walls on the reserve location so for those of you that didn't know, or who doesn't know what this means, on reserve, there's certain places where you used to be able to go prone and you can look through all the walls and basically see if there's any PMCs coming from like any direction, so you can, you know, relay that information to your teammates. You can know exactly where they're coming from, and you can obviously like set up an ambush. So hopefully that has all now been fixed, because a lot of people were abusing this on reserve apparently, and it's a very, very unfair thing that people were able to do. And then finally, the last thing, SJ6 now correctly increases maximum stamina again. I don't know what this means, because I've been using SJ6s all wipe and they've been working fine for me. So if any of you guys have any idea what this means, please let me know in the comments, because I have absolutely no idea what was wrong with SJ6 before. Is this a buff to SJ6? Is this a nerf to SJ6? I guess I'll just test it out today and see what it's like. Also, Dan Exert is molding because no buffs for the MCX. It is still an absolutely dog shit gun. So lads, there you go. That is the rundown of the patch notes. Hopefully you found this video informative. If you guys did, please make sure to leave a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite things are. Let me know some things that you guys want to have fixed but aren't fixed yet, and I can relay some of that information onto the devs if you guys would like. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to follow all the links down in the description if you guys have Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that other shit, Hover or whatever it's called, Twitter, Twitch. If you have any of that stuff, go follow me on there, because we're always posting content on all this other stuff. So if you guys want to keep up to date with me, that is a good place to do it. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out, my dudes.